Your tall friend is here, Astoria said to me the next week. I was in my office reading reviews. He's looking for you. James waited for me at the circ desk. You said we could. I looked, I said. I'd stowed the books beneath the shelf. Try these out. He took them to the big table in the front room. Read them. He made the sturdy chair, the same chair I'd sat in the night before, seem tiny. Afterward, he came up to me. This is at the top now, page 15. How were they? I asked. Would you like to take them home? He shook his head. No, he said, thanks. Nothing useful here at all. No? He said. I tried to catch his eye. Close? Close, I guess. He pointed at medical curiosities. I guess that's close. I picked up the book and opened it to where the marker was, but he'd moved it to another page. A line drawing of double-bodied baby looked up at me. Horrible. I snapped the book shut. I'm in medical books, he said, but new ones that say what goes wrong, how to cure it. Cures, I said. Oh, cures for giants? No such thing, no cure for height, only preventative medicine. I said it as a question. Cures? For tall people? Yes, he said. All I wanted was for him to explain it to me. It seemed presumptuous to come to any conclusions myself. I knew what he was talking about. I did. But what he wanted, I couldn't help him with. Darla, the shelver, came rattling up with her metal cart. Shelve these, she said, pointing at the books. The catalog cards I'd used stuck out from the pages. James had lined them up. Like a pack of cards, he'd shuffled into them. Hi, Jim, she said. Hi, he squinted down at her. She stared at me. I waited for her to get back to shelving. Peggy, shelve them or not? Not yet, I said. She sighed and pushed the card off. James stood in silence on the other side of the desk. He looked ready to leave. You mean how to stop growing? I said. Yes. Now he looked at me. Medicine or operations or something. I'm not sure we have anything here, I said. That was a lie. I knew we didn't. A medical library somewhere perhaps, or a university library, but really? I started pulling the bookmarks from the books. I tried to sound gentle. Really? You should ask your doctor. I have, he said. I ask a lot of doctors. Now back to number 21 on page 15, the character. What does James want? What does his desire tell you about the story's theme? Of course, he wants information about how to be cured from being a giant, right? He's so big that he just can't live with himself. He wants somehow to be helped out of an unhelpable situation. Of course, 22, now we're to it, the theme, right? How do the characters of the narrator and James help point to a theme about human nature, explain a possible story theme, and cite textual evidence to support your response? Of course, let's go ahead now and do a quick annotation of this one. At level 2A, major themes and messages, well, obviously one can be that often you can't change the thing about yourself that you most wish you could change, especially some kind of physical type of thing, right? That is to say, there's a conflict in play in this text. Let's jump to 2B. Obviously, the conflict plays right into the theme, right, of this notion, because the central conflict is an internal conflict, but there's as well a kind of external conflict, isn't there? Notice the librarian wants to try and help out James, but she just can't do it, right? At 3A, well, of course, we can ask this question. What text comes to mind for you about trying to undo things that are physical, right, challenges? Many years ago, there was a famous movie that Cher made called Mask, about a boy that was born disfigured, and there was nothing that could be done, and he had to learn to live with that. And through the process of the film, you discover that he becomes an amazing symbol of hope and perseverance, right? What is that text for you? Of course, we can think in the Greek mythic tradition about Hephaestus, who is the lame or the cripple god. He's the one god of all the anthropomorphic Greek gods who's not drop-dead gorgeous, right? And many Greeks kind of felt somehow attached to a god that didn't look like, an amazing kind of person. Finally, at 3B, how do you relate to a text like this? Can you appreciate as a freshman, can you appreciate the challenge of James? I want to learn about something, but I don't want to learn about it so that I can learn more about it. I want to learn about it so I can solve a problem. And namely, the problem is me. I want to fix me. I want to change something that I cannot change, but I want to hear somebody tell me that I can. This is, of course, one of those dramatic moments when you're reading in that autobiography of President Obama, Dreams of My Father. When President Obama, as a young man, comes to the realization as a student in Hawaii, he wants to somehow change his skin color. And it's a powerful moment in this book. You should read it for yourself, and I hope that you will. And he's trying to find some way to change the color of his skin. And he says, in his own words, he says, I had to come to terms with the fact that I was what I was. And I had to find ways to live with that and move beyond that. Think about it, 3B, what a challenge that is for freshmen. No question, as we come into high school, people are very quick at times to point out our differences. And if those are especially physical differences, they can inform our way of thinking about ourselves. Well, there you go. One more introduction. I hope that you're beginning to grow already as reader and thinker. Thank you.